I just arrived in Damascus, and according to my guidebook, I should be just shy of 500 miles. But according to this map, I've only gone 2.5 inches. Alright everyone, this video is going to be dedicated to Special Agent Rick Ulbright, who was killed in action on 8 August of 2004. Agent Ulbright was a graduate of Bora High School in Boise, Idaho, back in 1973, and he attended Boise State University from 74 to 77 until he enlisted in the Air Force back in 1977. He actually began his Air Force career as a small helicopter maintenance technician, and he was assigned to Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. And then back in 1982, he was assigned to Detachment 3, which was a recovery squadron in North Dakota. Now, while he was in Grand Forks, he completed his Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. He was then recruited by OSI in August of '86, and he became a certified polygraph examiner, which, if you don't know about OSI, all of us start out as field agents, just doing basic, felony level investigations or fraud or counterintelligence. But in OSI, after you're done with that, probationary period, and you meet certain requirements, you have the ability to specialize. And that could be, part of the surveillance team or technical services. We have crime scene experts, and one of the specialties is polygraph, and that's what Agent Ulbright did. Back in 1992, in November, he retired from active duty, so he then returned to OSI as a civilian special agent in 1998. He was then assigned to the 33rd Field Investigation Squadron at Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland, where he conducted, many examinations supporting various military and federal investigative organizations. So then, fast forward to 2004. For those of you who don't know, civilian agents in OSI also deploy. He volunteered for a tour of duty at the 24th EFIS, which is the Expeditionary Field Investigation Squadron in Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar. This assignment required travel through high threat areas in Iraq, and what he would do is he would go around conducting polygraph examinations for both criminal investigations as well as force protection issues that supported that EFIS and the whole coalition in theater. So Agent Ulbright, on August 8th of 2004, he was essentially just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was wounded in a rocket attack while he was actually conducting a polygraph examination at Kirkuk Air Base in Iraq. He then later died from his injuries. He was later awarded the Bronze Star, the Outstanding Civilian Service Career Award, and the Defense Freedom Medal. For those of you, who aren't military and who haven't been overseas, they call it IDF, indirect fire attacks. And the enemy, at least in Afghanistan, they would just set up these mortars or rockets and, fire them off towards the base. And if they got someone, it was a win for them. When I was in Afghanistan, I experienced multiple IDF. Some of them were pretty close to the dormitories or barracks. And again, it was just poor luck for him. Wrong place at the wrong time. And, he was the first casualty that OSI experienced since Vietnam. You heard my first two videos with Agent Hitchcock and Agent Round. Unfortunately, Agent Ulbright was the first killed in action, and this was part of the Operation Iraqi Freedom back in 2004. So please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers. This video is dedicated to him, and his legacy will not be forgotten. Okay, this is where I stayed the past 2 nights, and I zeroed here. It is at the USA Raft Adventure Resort. My wife arranged it. It's about a 1.5 mile walk from Uncle Johnny's as you drop into Irwin. Pretty cool view. Got a nice little bar there. Glamping tents. This place is definitely catered to rafters and kayakers, but they're trying to get more AT hikers. If you do want to stay here, just know that there is no resupply, there is no laundry, so you'll have to walk back to Uncle Johnny's. Alright, officially back on trail, hiking with Rapture. It's good to be back with him.
We got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the
So it didn't really dawn on me until last night when I saw a few comments, but I've officially been on the trail 1 month. It's crazy to think about. So about 350 miles in a month. I don't really know if that's on track for 5 months or so, but we'll see. So, more to come. Walking through controlled burn area. Definitely seems to be an art to the science, because I don't know how they do this without the whole mountain catching on fire. Got a strong smell though.
I'm gonna quit my job, never wanna have no boss. I just wanna play my rock and roll like they do on the radio. Tommy's got brand new drums, and I still have my old guitar. And John said this next song's gonna be real good, if you know what I mean. Round and round the world we'll go, putting on the greatest show. So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We're playing loud, surfing the crowd.
Cool forest we're climbing up right now. Everything on the floor is really green. Alright y'all, we were gonna stop, I'm with Rapture, we were gonna stop at a campsite at about mile 13, but felt good enough to press on another 4. It means we'll get into camp later than usual, probably around 6:30. But just wanted to take a minute. I'm gonna do a little bit better job of explaining where I stayed and kind of my thoughts on things. So stayed at that 1/4 mile cabin, and I showed you some video of that earlier. Which it was really nice. Like I said, there was a bar there, shared bathroom, just not very convenient for a through hiker. So just keep in mind if you stay there, when you drop down and you get to Uncle Johnny's off the trail, just continue on the bridge and then get back on the AT for about 1.5 miles. And then there's a small spur trail, Blue Blaze. It'll take you right to it, about 1.5 miles in. Knowing what I know now, what I would have done is planned it to where I pop off the AT at Uncle Johnny's, get my resupply there, maybe even pop into town, do laundry, and then continue on for that 1.5 miles. That way you don't have to backtrack to do laundry or resupply or whatever. It was about $50, or it was $50 a night. You saw there's 2 beds in there, so if you're with someone and you don't mind sharing a room, that's a pretty good deal. Can't remember if I said this, but shared bathroom. They have a sauna, which I took full advantage of. I got that thing up to 150 degrees. Used it 3 times, and I was the only one in there. One thing to keep in mind, the room, it only had 1 outlet, which could be a problem if you're with 2 people. But the place is trying to cater to AT hikers more and more. I got a couple free beers because I was the only AT thru hiker there. For those of you who aren't thru hikers and are interested in the place, it's pretty cool. They have like glamping with some of those cool tents. It's right on the river, so it's a big kayak and rafting place. But I'm thinking of coming back there with the van and parking it and hanging out for a bit. It's a pretty cool spot. Other than that, we'll be at the shelter here in about an hour. More to come. So on the same topic, when I was in Hot Springs, the first night I was there, I stayed at Laughing Heart Hostel, which wasn't terrible. Caboose runs it, he's a good guy. I had a single room. I try to avoid bunkhouses if I can. But my experience was ruined by some rude hikers who were in the kitchen right outside my room at 3 in the morning, talking in very loud voices, and kept me up after 3 a.m. So that's when I switched to Elmer's, which I gave you guys a tour of. And so far, man, I don't know. Chica and Sunsets was an awesome hostel, but so was Elmer's. So those 2 so far have been my favorite places to stay while in town so far in the AT. This is Cherry Creek Gap Shelter. Quite a few tent spots. I didn't film much last night, but I thought I'd give you a quick video of what it looks like in the morning. My tent, and the shelter over there. Rapture and a guy named Goldie stayed in the shelter last night. So by far the first video with me and Oopsie Daisy got the most attention. So I know everyone's probably really missing Oopsie Daisy in these videos. So he just told me that he's working on a somewhat of a blooper reel, and he's going to send me the video, and I will edit if I need to, and I'll put it out there hopefully in the next, I don't know, week or a few weeks. And you'll get to see some of the footage that he took over that first week with him. So be looking forward to that. I also just got notified that the charity just hit the $1,000 mark. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you for all the donations. I'm kind of wanting to set the goal of $10,000 by the end of the hike, but I have 4 months left, so that might not be attainable. So maybe 7,500 is a good mark to try to reach. I don't know all the rules to monetizing the channel, but I think I'm close. If I get 4,000 hours or view hours, then I can do that, because I'm already over the 1,000 mark for subscribers. But my pledge is, if I am ever able to monetize the channel, all proceeds will go to the charity. That'll definitely help out the end figure. So I'll let y'all know if that ever happens. More to come. give you a little rock knob vista. Alright, Rapture and I made it to Ash Gap campsite. No shelter here. We're debating what to do. I don't know if you can see it up there, but that is the top where the highest shelter on the AT is, called High Roan Knob, I believe. If you can see through the trees, the wind and clouds are just rolling off that mountain. We're getting probably 30-35 mile gusts down here. It's a good 2-mile climb up there, so we decided we're gonna stay down here for the night. There's a lot of good campsites on this side. The forecast calls for wind to come out of that direction, so we set up over here to the south, somewhat more protected by the trees. This is a decent spot, but there's a Widowmaker right there. But we're set up over there. Yes, we have the same tent. Some of you were asking what my routine is when I get to camp each night. First thing I do, find a good site to make sure no Widowmakers, anything like that that's gonna fall on me throughout the night if there's wind. Once I get my tent set up, then I immediately go and find a branch to hang my bear bag. I just get the line thrown so I don't have to worry about that later. Then I go to the water source and get my water, filter water. And then I unpack everything and set up the inside of my tent. Usually, so you see the tarp under there. I used to have that big foam pad that just gave me a little bit more insulation, but I switched to just putting a tarp down. Then I blow up my sleep pad. Then I get my quilt and attach it to my sleep pad. And then I change, wash my feet, take some wipes, clean up as best I can, and get ready for cooking whatever meal I'm gonna have. So what I'm making tonight is my version of a ramen bomb. So I'm gonna, usually I only use 1.5 packages of ramen, but both packets to give it more flavor. And I use half a bag of these like instant mashed potatoes, and I throw in some tuna. You can substitute that with Spam or chicken, but this is typically what I do for a ramen bomb. So we just ran into Beat. We met back in Franklin, right?
Franklin, I think.
Yeah.
And there's Rapture over there. And Captain America,
There you go,
formerly
bud.
known as Hermit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we did. Right. Well, we haven't done any with blacks yet.
Nice little reunion.
Yes, indeed. Good to see everyone. I'm
You
hoping
too,
I can meet
brother.
up with y'all.
This is Roan High Knob Shelter, the highest shelter on the Appalachian Trail. Oh, you like PBR?
Well,
They're all open. I know that there's one that's not. Hey, can you grab the lights for me? Didn't get any views at Roan Mountain or the Bald right after, which has some spectacular 360-degree views, but didn't get anything due to weather. But we are gonna push 8 more miles. We're 8 into the day. We should hit this bald and then climb up to this bald in those 8 hours. So they look clear. Hopefully weather holds out. More to come. Alright, made it to the first bald. So we were right up there. You can see where clouds were hitting us. That structure right ahead of us is actually a shelter on the AT. I think it's been condemned. It was actually used in the Revolutionary War. Pretty cool. This is Little Hump. We will get over this and then one more climb over Big Hump. Luckily, view. So I figured up on a little hump, looking at a big hump here, we would just kind of ride the ridgeline and be there in no time, but no. It's the Appalachian Trail, y'all. We just dropped all the way down from the top, all the way down to this saddle right here, and I'm about to climb big hump. Top of the big hump.
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know.
Hey, let's go back down and do that one again.
Alright, y'all. Officially stepping over the line and saying goodbye to North Carolina. 2 down, 12 to go. Alright, got to Dolly Flats. You can see that's where we came from, so what cloud is coming in. We got all set up. There's a few people here. Nice camp area. I'm right there. Raptor and I got a fire going, which is something we don't normally do. And I got my bear bag line already hung right there. About to eat some dinner. And that's Whistler. Alright, this is Mountain House, or I'm sorry, Mountain Harbor Hostel. Alright, at Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast, we got single beds in the bunkhouse. There's Rapture's bed. I'm by the window, so my feet don't clear out the place. Don't know who's staying there yet, but they have a little loft up there. 2 bathrooms. And Whistler's in the presidential suite. And it's gonna rain all day today, so it was a good day for a Nero. All right, sitting here with Sarah, aka Trail Name Sheepdog. She hit me up on Instagram. Awesome trail angel. She picked us up, brought us to a local bakery. We just ate a whole pizza each. Thank you so much. She's a prior U.S. Air Force vet and a law enforcement canine handler. So thank you for everything. We really appreciate
great
you.
to meet you guys.
And she's going to be finishing her hike of the AT later this year. So wish you the best of luck, and hopefully I can repay you.
Thanks.
Thanks. All right, just finished up dinner at Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast. It was on point. Very nice place to stay. I'm glad we chose this over 19E. A little bit more up my alley versus partying. However, we did indulge in some good adult beverages.
Nice.
I definitely recommend Yeehaw. What do you got there, Raptor?
Some Tennessee ale.
Oh, you crushed it.
Yeah.
Like you do hiking every day. All right, couple miles in from Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast. Just a quick review. The place is awesome. Even the bunkhouse felt very comfortable. Breakfast, the spread was awesome. The owners are awesome. It's often referred to as the best breakfast on the AT, and it lived up to that name. However, there's a maintenance worker in the bunkhouse that is apparently living there, and he snored all night. I think 4 hours into the night, I finally said, okay, I need to put earplugs in. I still heard this dude. And then as I was dozing off, a group of 6 section hikers decided to come in the middle of a storm at 1 in the morning. So that kept me up. I have no idea what their story was because they actually drove to the hostel and, like I said, came in at 1 o'clock. Other than that, it was a nice place. They have a very good resupply at the general store. Everyone was friendly, but I'm going to avoid bunkhouses at all costs from now on. In fact, I just canceled our reservations with Boots Off Hostel. Sorry guys, I just can't do it again. Not getting any sleep and then hiking all day is not fun. So I canceled with them because Trail Angel Sarah, aka Sheepdog, who bought us pizza yesterday, has offered to put us up Saturday night, which is awesome. So we're gonna stay with her. More to come. Despite having no sleep, I am in an awesome mood today because my wife, Jess, decided to make the spur of a moment decision and book flights, arrange kennels for the dogs, and she's gonna come out and meet me in Damascus and hike about 30 miles to Grayson Highlands to see the ponies. So I'm extremely stoked about that. Very unlike her to do this last minute. She's a planner, but I think we got it all worked out. She's gonna fly in, meet us Thursday. I'll get new shoes. We'll kind of game plan it. Possibly drop the car off at the state park there, and she'll hike up and then drive back. Hoping for good weather so she has a good experience. It's gonna be sweet. More to come. Coming up on a little Blue Blaze trail to see Jones Falls. We're about 12 and a half in for the day from Mountain Harbor Bed and Breakfast. Just opened up to this view. Right here is Little Hump, which we did just a day and a half ago. And this was Big Hump, which is the big climb we did before dropping into Roan Mountain. Alright y'all, we're about 7 miles in for the day from Moreland Gap. Did not film that much yesterday because it was a 19-mile day. Got to camp, ate, and I crashed. I think it was the first night I slept all the way through the night in my tent. So we got about 7 miles to go. So what you see behind me, Rapture said this used to be, we'll see this I guess through Virginia, but areas where it's carved out in the rock. It used to be an old railroad site used for logging. Pretty cool. So we're about 7 miles from Hampton, where Sarah, Sheepdog, is going to pick us up and put us up for the night. She's awesome. Anything to avoid another night in a bunkhouse in a hostel, but can't thank her enough. It's going to be really cool. And then tomorrow morning, what I'm hoping to do is meet up with a guy named Austin, who's the son of an FBI agent colleague of mine that I worked with when I was stationed in Tennessee. So it'll be cool to catch up with him, hopefully do breakfast. I think he said that he's going to the Bristol race tomorrow, but it'll be cool to see him and fuel up before the last stretch to Damascus, where I will meet up with my wife. More to come. Doing our best to outrun the storm that's coming, but I don't think it's gonna happen. The temperatures just dropped pretty good, and I think with 7 miles to go, we're gonna get it one way or another, but we'll see. All right, y'all, Laurel Falls. And of course, as you can see, right when we got to Laurel Falls, it started raining. Pretty nice falls though, highly recommend it. The climb down was hell on my shins though. That's the trail, y'all, right there. I'm gonna try and do this.
We were like, where the hell's the trail?
Lake, I think it's called, just dropped down from Pond Mountain. Tried out running the storm, but that was not successful at all. I am completely drenched. The sheepdog is about to pick us up. I hope I don't destroy her truck. It was nuts though. I mean, I didn't even have time to put my rain gear on. I heard something behind me because I didn't see it. And I turned around and it was just this wave of wind, and the trees just started howling like crazy. And like an idiot, I was filming instead of putting my rain gear on, and then 20 seconds later just downpoured and I was drenched. So I said screw it, pretty much ran down the mountain 2.5 miles, but completely drenched, freezing. Looking forward to a warm truck and a warm place. Thanks, sheepdog.
Here's the trail. Holy crap. Yep, this is impossible. Holy cow.
All right, it's been raining all morning, thunderstorms all morning, but it's cleared up a little bit. Sheepdog just dropped us off. Man, what an awesome experience with her. She put us up, like I said, cooked an amazing meal last night, woke up, amazing meal this morning. Just an amazing house. I'm really glad I got to meet her. I think we're gonna be friends for quite some time, hopefully. And I hope to repay and help her out with her hike, whether it's finishing the AT or her next one, which is the CDT. I also got to link up with Austin this morning. He came to our house. Austin is the son of an FBI agent colleague of mine that I worked with in Tennessee, so it was really cool catching up with him. I don't know, it was just the past 2 days have been really, really cool. We're shooting for 10 miles today, getting a late start at around noon. Still is calling for thunderstorms, but maybe we'll get lucky. I don't know. We'll just kind of see how it goes. A couple days away from Damascus, where I'll be meeting up with my wife. More to come, y'all. Crossing Wilbur Dam. Okay, made it 10 miles today after a late start. Trail was pretty bad from all the rain that we've been getting, and we made it up the ridge to elevation, and it started raining. Walked in the rain for about 2.5 hours, made it to the shelter, and the shelter was full from everyone trying to get out of the rain. Really, really cold, really, really windy. So Rapture and I pressed on and decided to just try and find a spot where we could pitch our tents. It's still really, really windy, but I think this will work for the night. I just spent about 1.5 hours in my tent trying to warm up, but I'll show you where we set up for the night. So cold. Pretty sure everything is frozen again. Alright, y'all. Been a few days since I've took a video. 2 days ago was because of weather, but this is basically what we've been seeing. Walking a ridge all the way from Hampton. However, we made it to Virginia, and it's not April yet. Pretty happy about that. So, 3 down, 11 to go. It's going to be about another month till I get to check off another state, because this stretch is about 500 miles through Virginia. More to come. Welcome to Damascus, y'all. Look who it is! Killer and Wizard.
It's a greeting party.
That's Dancing Bear. This is where Jess and I will be staying on Thursday. Everywhere is booked in town right now because everyone's trying to get out of the weather tomorrow. So Rapture and I were lucky enough to find a place at Broken Fiddle. All right, y'all. Time to swap out my shoes. They've got almost 500 miles out of them. Hold on one second, I'll give you a side by side. Yeah, overall they're not too bad. I got some tearing going on there. The front toe part is usually what comes off, and it's looking decent. It's not terrible. Tread, I would say, I was sliding on the mud quite a bit, but I think all of us were, regardless of shoes. Here's my new wheels though. Oh yeah. Wah wah. What? Like this? Going overhand or underhand? This is not gonna go yet. Well, I got the height.
The accuracy's a pain in the ass.
I was just saying how good I am at hanging a bareback. I really don't want to hit that car over there, too.
Oh, they're on there. I was kind of hoping it would take that branch down.
I was worried I was going to hit that car.
Yeah.
Alright, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Please keep Agent Ulbright in your thoughts and prayers. We're drinking a Coors Light to him. That's all they had here. The next video will be my wife, Jess, arriving here in Damascus, and we'll set off for Grayson Highlands. Until then, happy trails, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, brother.